Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. Alright, today we're going to be talking about Venus transiting retrograde in Pisces. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box in the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Okay, so this is going to be for all signs. These are your Vedic Sidereal placements, not your Western Tropical. If you don't know your Vedic Sidereal placements, you can look up a birth chart on a free birth chart calculator online, or get a much more detailed birth chart from my website that even has your D9 Navamsa Nakshatras. Okay, so Venus is retrograde in Pisces. Now, normally I don't talk about the the faster moving planets. Why? They don't have much of an effect. They have a very light effect that often goes unnoticed. So, usually, they don't really need to be discussed. But, when they go retrograde, there's a big difference. Mainly talking about Venus and Mercury here. Okay, so Venus is going to be retrograde in Pisces from March 1st to April 12th. Now, there's going to be a lot going on with this. This is no simple retrograde. There's never a simple retrograde. But this is even more complicated than usual. You are going to have trouble grasping this if you are somewhat of a novice in astrology, I'll be honest with you. So, let's talk about what's making this so complicated. First off, when a planet is retrograde outside of Mercury, they will affect the previous house. This is only when they're transiting retrograde. Okay, because the planet appears to be moving backwards. That's why, to us, it affects the previous house. Now, on top of that, Venus is going to be with Neptune, with Mercury, with Rahu, and for the last half of it, also with Sun and with Saturn. That is a lot. That is no small amount of planets here. And not only that, it's going to be with Jupiter. Now, how is it going to be with Jupiter? Well, this is where it gets even more complicated. So, Venus is in Pisces. Jupiter rules Pisces. In Sidereal Vedic Astrology, Jupiter rules Pisces. Now, Jupiter is currently transiting in Taurus. Venus rules Taurus. So, in Vedic astrology, this is called an exchange yoga or a parivartana yoga. Yoga meaning combination. So these planets are acting conjunct. They're acting like they're together in both houses. Now you see how complicated this is already. Like it probably sounds like rocket science to those of you who are new to astrology. Astrology and rocket science. Okay. But Venus is going to be impacting Pisces. It's going to be impacting Taurus. And Venus is going to be taking the energy of those two signs into Aquarius. It's going to be a very big deal. This retrograde is not normal. Okay, now we're going to be talking about each zodiac sign, but before we get to that, so Venus is going to be with all these planets: Rahu, Jupiter, Mercury, Neptune, Sun, Saturn. What does this mean? Well, Venus is what we're focusing on here, but there is going to be an impact with these. So Venus, what is Venus? Venus is relationships. Venus's job is to get you into a relationship, and if you're straight, make babies. That's Venus's goal. It's to connect humanity and make more humans. But also, Venus is luxury. Venus is pleasure, enjoyment. So, Venus is also money. So, money and relationships. These are the two things that become most important when Venus goes retrograde. Venus is going back. Now you have to go back and fix these things. But now Venus is going to be with all these other planets. So don't think that this is going to be pleasant. It may not be. First off, with Sun and Saturn, this is going to be the second half, or last 2 weeks or so, of this retrograde, which Venus will be retrograde for a month and a half. So, Sun is the king. Saturn is the people, the masses. Now, the relationships between these two planets need to be resolved. So, what's something you're going to see here? You're going to see political issues. You're going to see issues between governments and between the masses. That's something that's going to come into play over this month and a half. Now, it may have a peaceful resolution because this is Venus, but it may not. What's important is the relationship between these two planets. Now, but in personal life, Sun and Saturn, Sun is ego, pride, anger. Saturn is servitude. Saturn is hardship. Saturn is responsibility. So, there could be conflict. Like, relationships are going to feel like work during this time. Especially the particular relationships that these houses rule, that these, this planet, Venus, and these other planets are affecting in your chart. Now, Venus is going to be with Jupiter and Rahu and Neptune. So first off, Venus is also creativity. Venus is art. It's going to be with Neptune. Neptune is very creative and artistic. For instance, film was developed. Film is tied to Neptune. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so with Venus being with Neptune and Rahu, remember Rahu is New Age technology. There may be some new technology that comes about during this time, with this retrograde affecting these two planets. But Neptune is also spirituality. Neptune is illusion. Neptune can deceive you. Neptune's like you put the sign of Pisces wherever Neptune's transiting. The energy of Pisces is now there. You feel lost. It's like a fog's been placed wherever Neptune transits. But for creative people, meaning you're in like creative work, or spiritual people, this can be very good. Like the creative and spiritual sides of these houses come alive. Either that or you will be confused like hell. These are the results with Neptune's involvement. Now, Rahu and Jupiter. Jupiter is mass expansion. So is Rahu. Jupiter is expansion, but Rahu is explosive expansion. So, here, relationships can explode. Finances can explode. Now, this would be like growing, blossoming. So you could get into a sudden relationship. Now, not everyone, that's not going to be the case for everyone. But for certain signs, it will. But this is good for finances for most people. Now, there can be some exceptions. Like, for instance, if this is affecting the 12th house somehow, it could be expanded losses. It could go quite the opposite. Okay. But Jupiter is also education. Jupiter is travel. And then you have Rahu. Rahu is foreign. So there could be travel that takes place tied to this as well. There could be education that takes place. Because not only is Jupiter education, because Jupiter is a guru, but Venus is also a guru. Okay, so now we're going to look at each individual sign. And like I said, I know this was confusing to most of you. It's confusing to me. But we're going to talk about it for each sign. I just wanted to talk about what each planet does with its involvement in this. Now, I'm not going to be talking about that for each zodiac sign. It would be way too long. We're going to focus on Venus and its effect on these 3 houses. Okay, but we're going to start with Aries, like always. Alright, Aries. So, for you, Aries, Venus is in Pisces, your 12th house. Now, Venus is retrograde. So it's going to affect the previous house of Aquarius, your 11th house. But Venus is also in Pisces, which I know is hard to see here with all these damn planets. But it's in Pisces. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus. So Venus and Jupiter and all these planets are exchanging energy between these 2 houses. Okay. So this is going to get pretty complicated. But to shorthand it, the second house here is family, finances, it's your possessions. The 12th house. 12th house is losses, foreign travel, investments, spirituality, bed pleasure. And then Venus is taking the energy of these 2 houses into the 11th house. So, 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. 11th house is your friends, your network circle, large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market, it's gains, it's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So, here, financially, this can be very good, especially if you're involved in any investments tied to like the stock market. Because now, Venus is taking the energy of the second house of earnings, 12th house of investments, and putting it in the 11th house of stock market and gains. So, you could have an investment that really pays off during this time, where it just kind of blows up, balloons out of nowhere. Or maybe you actually put down an investment. With this, we definitely see financial gains can take place. Here, we see there's involvement of your family with an elder sibling or a paternal aunt and uncle. That would be significant during this time. Maybe there's a large family gathering with family members that live far away. These kinds of things can take place. Now family wants to be more involved with the elder sibling, more involved with your paternal aunts or uncles. But either way, financially, this is a very good retrograde for you. Now, one thing we do see though, that's more on the negative side, is an elder sibling or a paternal aunt or uncle could deal with losses during this time. Because now the energy of loss is being brought to them. So, maybe they're needing more help from family than usual. That could also be something that takes place with this. Okay. That's what I have for you though, Aries. Moving on to Taurus. Alright, Taurus. Oh gosh, 1 second. I don't know why, my right eye just started tearing up for some reason. Okay, maybe that's an omen for you. I don't know. But, let's talk about this Venus retrograde. Hopefully, let me check if my camera's blocking this first off. Okay, no. Venus is visible. Okay, so Venus is going to be in the 11th house, in Pisces, with all these damn planets. Now, Venus is in Pisces, Jupiter is in Taurus. So all of these planets are behaving like they're in both these houses. The first house and the 11th house. So first house, your physical body, your health. 11th house, your elder siblings, paternal aunts and uncles, friends, network circle, gains, hopes, wishes, and desires. Now all of these energies are being brought into Aquarius, the 10th house, because Venus is retrograde. So, 10th house is your career, it's your status, your fame, your reputation. It's your workplace, your managers and your bosses. 10th house is government, especially national government. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. It is the highest house of karma. So this house matters, even if you're out of work or retired. So what do we see with this? Well, first off, you could have a friend's help on behalf of your career. Or a paternal aunt and uncle could help you with your career. Or a large organization even could support you in your career. Here, financial gains from your career could take place. There could be a very important work party or gathering that takes place. 11th house is also tied to conferences. There could be a work conference that takes place. You could have a friend help you get a job if you've been unemployed during this time. But one thing we do see here, work becomes very significant. Work, your reputation, networking. You have to connect with other people during this time. You need work connections to benefit you during this time. So, you can't be, all on your lonesome during this transit. For this month and a half, you need the help of others. You have to connect with other people to have that success in your career, to have those financial gains. Because without their help, you'll experience the opposite. You'll deal with losses. So keep that in mind. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini. So, this Venus retrograde is happening in Pisces. And Jupiter is transiting in Taurus. So there's an exchange happening between Jupiter and Venus and all these damn planets that are involved. Eventually, Sun and Saturn will be there too. So, first off, 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure. It's spirituality. It's isolation. It's losses. It's investments. It's foreign travel. Foreign opportunities. Now, 10th house is your career, your status, your fame. It's your workplace, your managers, and your bosses. It's the highest house of karma. Now, all of this is being brought by Venus into Aquarius because Venus is retrograde. So Aquarius is your 9th house. 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's counseling. It's publishing. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. Ninth house is higher education, especially beyond like a bachelor's degree or outside of typical schooling. It's your luck and your fortune. So, what we see here is you could definitely travel to a far off place for work. Because now, 12th house of foreign travel, 10th house of work, those energies are being brought into the 9th house of long distance travel. Here, you may have to get education at a far off place for your work. You could have karma to teach during this time. This could be, something simple, like, you have a subordinate that you take on at work that you now have to teach a new role to. But here, travel and education become the big things with this. Here, You have to invest in your education. Because the 12th Lord of Investments is affecting the 9th house of education. Venus is affecting it. Here, your reputation improves when you get higher education, when you deal with a mentor, when you travel, when you publish something. Here, your father could be dealing with losses. Father could even be getting, grandmother's property during this time. Because now family income of the father, because it's second from the 9th, is going into the 9th. Along with the 4th house from the 9th house of father. So that could be something that's taking place as well. But for you personally, this is mostly tied to travel, it's tied to education, and it will be tied to your career somehow. Okay, that's what I have for you, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer. Okay, so Venus is retrograde in your 9th house in Pisces. With all these damn planets. And Jupiter is in Taurus. So all of these planets will act like they're in both houses. So, 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle. Hopes, wishes, desires, gains, stock market. And then, your 9th house. 9th house is your father figures, your mentors, your teachers. It's higher education. It's your luck and your fortune. It's religion, philosophy, the law, counseling. It's publishing. It's long distance travel and pilgrimage. And now, all of this from the 11th and 9th house is being brought into the 8th house. Because Venus is retrograde. So, 8th house. 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's taxes. It's other people's money. It's death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies. 8th house is sex. It's the occult. It's research. It's psychological baggage. It's surgeries. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. So, with all these planets affecting these two houses, with Venus bringing this energy into the 8th house, we see sudden events will take place. There can be sudden gains. There can be sudden luck that take place for you. This isn't necessarily all bad. But there can be sudden negative events with the father. That could take place. That is one thing we see here. For instance, Venus is relationships. So your relationship with your father could take a turn for the worst during this time. It doesn't necessarily have to be father's health. As a matter of fact, it's more likely to be the relationship because it's Venus. Or even your relationship with your mentor. Now, this could be a very good thing. For instance, if you're getting education tied to the occult, education tied to psychology, or maybe you're getting education to be a surgeon. This would be very good for that. Because remember, Venus is the guru. So is Jupiter. That energy is being brought into the 8th house. Here, you could have a lot of luck and fortune, gains when it comes to inheritance. Maybe you inherit something during this time. Maybe you get a big tax return. I don't know if something like that's going to happen this year, but maybe. But here, education gains become significant. But also, you could be traveling to visit your in-laws, which may not be as fun. Maybe while traveling, you have a sexual encounter. Because Venus is retrograde in the 9th house of long distance travel into the 8th house of sex. Could even be with a friend, because the 11th house of friends is involved. These are the kinds of things we can see with this. Here, gains tied to business. Because now 11th Lord of Gains, 11th house of gains, is going into the 8th house of business earnings. If you're involved at all in occult work or psychological work, or even, working at a mortuary, this could be a good time. Now, hopefully not if you're involved in a mortuary. Sorry, but I don't want you to have too much business. Okay. Alright, that's what I have for you though, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Leo. So, Venus is retrograde in the 8th house. And poor Mercury is being cut off there at the bottom. There's too many damn planets in this house right now. And eventually Sun and Saturn will be there too. But Jupiter is in Taurus, the 10th house. Now, with this, we see there's an exchange taking place because they're in each other's signs. So, 10th and 8th houses are heavily involved with each other right now. So, 10th house is your career. It's your fame, your reputation. It's your workplace, your managers and your bosses. It's even government, especially national government. 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's taxes. It's death. It's inheritance. It's sex. It's the occult. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. Now, all of the energies of these two houses are being brought into the 7th house because Venus is retrograde. So, 7th house is relationships, it's marriage, it's business partnership. 7th house is the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and happiness. It's 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career, your status, your reputation. If 10th house is the highest house of karma, 7th house is 10th from that. So it's even higher karma. Which is why marriage can sometimes be a heavy burden for people. Okay. But now let's talk about these two houses, their energy being brought into the 7th house. So, one big thing we see here, there can be a major transformation of your career that takes place. 10th house of career. 7th house, which is 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career. 8th house of transformation. So, there can be a big sudden transformation in your work. This could be you getting demoted if you've been fucking up. This could be a promotion. This could be a transfer. This could be getting laid off. This is going to depend on your individual chart, whether or not this is good or bad. But either way, Venus and Jupiter are combined. That increases money. So, in the end, it would be good for you in most cases. Okay. But here, the energy of the 8th house of inheritance and also 8th house of joint finances is going into the 7th house of the spouse. 10th house, which is 4th from the 7th house, meaning home of the spouse. So, this could be your spouse inheriting a home. Like, this is something that could be seen with this. Here, for those that are, lovesick, hopeless romantics, a relationship that ended could come back. Because Venus is relationships. It's going from the 8th house of endings into the 7th house of relationships. Now, if you don't want a relationship to come back, use your free will. You can say no. You could say hell no. You could slam the door in their face. You do you. But what we also see here is your spouse could need a surgery during this time. Because now the energy of the 8th house is being brought into the 7th house. There can be a big transformation of your business. especially if you're involved in an occult business or, you're a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist. This could be good for your business during this time. Here, your reputation will change in a big way. Okay, that's what I have for you though, Leo. Moving on to Virgo. Alright, Virgo. So, sorry, Bosco just ignored me and went straight to my window. He likes to look out at it sometimes. Bosco's my cat, for those who don't know. Okay, got distracted. Alright, so Venus is retrograde in the sign of Pisces with all these damn planets. Venus is in an exchange combination with Jupiter, because Jupiter's in Taurus. So now the 7th and 9th houses are being connected. And all this energy is being brought into Aquarius, your 6th house, because Venus is retrograde. So, this 9th house is father figures. It's your mentors, your teachers. It's higher education. It's religion, philosophy, the law, counseling. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. It's your luck and your fortune. It's also publishing. 7th house. 7th house is relationships, marriage, business partnerships. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and happiness. It's 10th from the 10th. Higher form of your career, your status, your reputation. 7th house is also the courtroom, which might become relevant here for some of you, because Venus is retrograding towards that 6th house. So, 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your pets. It's your enemies. 6th house is your everyday work, everyday routines. It's health issues and accidents. It's debt. It's conflicts. It's competition. It's legal disputes. So, with Venus bringing all this energy from the 7th house and the 9th house into the 6th house, especially for those of you who are going through a divorce, this is being highlighted because 7th house of marriage, 9th house of the law, 6th house of legal disputes. So for some of you, that could be what this is. For others of you, it could be conflict with the spouse or in relationships in general. For Virgo people, this can be a difficult time for relationships. But, on that same note, you could travel and meet someone through work to begin a relationship. That could also take place for those that are single. Hopefully you're single. Okay. You can get education on behalf of your business, tied to your work. Especially if you're in the business of law or healthcare. This can be very good. 9th house of education and travel. 7th house of business. 6th house of work. But also, 6th house is the law, and it's also health. Or even if you have a pet store. Or you're a veterinarian. This could also be good for that. But one thing you need to be very careful about here is debt. Because 6th house is debt. Now, Venus, Jupiter, Rahu, the energy of money is being expanded. Maybe that's because you're taking on too much debt. Because all this energy is being brought into that 6th house. So that is the biggest thing you need to be careful of here, outside of relationship issues that could crop up with this. So be careful about taking on too much debt. Okay. Alright, that's what I have for you, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Alright, so Libra. For you, Well, Venus is kind of cut off here. But Venus is retrograde in Pisces, your 6th house. And Jupiter is in Taurus, your 8th house. Now, all of these planets, and there's a lot of them, are acting like they're in each other's houses, conjunct. So, 8th house. 8th house is house of sex. It's your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's the occult. It's research, psychological baggage, surgeries, death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. And the 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your enemies. It's your pets. It's debt. It's competition. It's conflict. It's legal disputes. It's your everyday work, everyday routines, health issues, and accidents. Now, Venus is retrograde though. So the energy of these 2 houses is now being brought into the 5th house. So, 5th house. 5th house is romance, fun and games. It's children, students, subordinates. 5th house is creativity, arts, and sports. It's education. It's politics. It's speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. So, with the energy of the 8th house and the 6th house being brought into the 5th house. First off, for those of you that don't want to have children, be careful. Because now the energy of suddenly having children could come into play. Wrap up, do what you gotta do. There can also be sudden romantic sexual encounters that take place. There can be sudden education or research tied to your education, tied to your work, that takes place during this transit. Here you could be in conflict with your children. Now you're trying to mend that relationship. Because remember, Venus is all about relationships. It doesn't just mean romantic relationships. It means your relationships in general. With all the people around you. Here, especially when it comes to psychological education, like counseling, because 5th house is also counseling. Being a therapist, being a psychiatrist, psychologist. Or education tied to, like, surgeons. Those become prominent. Education tied to the occult becomes prominent during this time. Here, maybe your in-laws suddenly come to visit to spend time with your children. You may take on sudden debt on behalf of your education or children. There can be a sudden transformation of your political views. There can be a sudden change in a child's health. So be careful with that. Here, a child could receive an inheritance. Because now the 8th house of inheritance is in the 5th house of children. There could even be a legal dispute tied to that because the 6th house is getting involved. So this is actually a very involved Venus retrograde. More so than most of the signs. There's a lot that could be taking place with this one. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else important that I want to mention with this one. Oh, okay, this is very important. So, for those of you with gambling issues, be very careful. 6th house of debt, Venus. Remember, Venus is with Rahu, with Jupiter, with Neptune, there could be a massive expansion of your debt if you are not careful. Especially when it comes to gambling, because 5th house is gambling. So, don't do that. Be smart, please. Okay. That's what I have for you, Libra. Moving on to Scorpio. Alright, Scorpio. So, Venus is retrograde in Pisces, your 5th house. With all these damn planets. And Sun and Saturn will join them later. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus. Jupiter and Venus are in each other's signs. So there is an exchange yoga taking place here. Meaning all these planets are acting conjunct in each other's houses. So, 7th house is relationships, marriage, business partnerships. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and happiness. It's 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career, your status, your reputation. Now, 5th house. 5th house is romance, fun and games. It's children, students, subordinates. It's education. 5th house is politics. It's counseling. It's speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. And if I forgot to mention it, it's creativity, arts, and sports. So, now the energy of these two houses is being brought into the 4th house in Aquarius because Venus is retrograde. So, 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles, it's your comfort and your happiness. So, what can we see with this? Well, we see a romantic relationship can take place at home. Or when you're dealing with your car. Hello, Todd. Todd wanted to join the video. Okay, Todd is my cat in case he didn't show up on camera. Okay. But, yeah, a romantic relationship could take place at home. Maybe you meet someone at home or something. Or you could get a home. Like, for instance, you get married, you get a home. That could take place as well. Here, you could start a home-based business. That's something that could take place. Especially, you could start a business tied to cars even with this. Also, your children could be spending more time with your mother or more time at home. If you had children that moved out, maybe they're moving back in. Because now the 5th house energy is being brought into the 4th house. So that's something we see as well. Here, mother could be making more money because 5th house is 2nd from the 4th. So now more money is coming to the mother. But that could be a loss for the rest of the family. Because 5th house is the family of the mother. So maybe you're having to help financially support your mother. But we also see 7th house of comfort and happiness of the mother would be coming to the mother as well. Here you could be getting education at home tied to your career because 7th house is 10th from the 10th. Higher form of career. Okay. Maybe you're getting education tied to cars. Maybe you're a mechanic. Maybe you're still in school learning how to drive. You might be too young for my videos, but thanks for viewing, I guess. But these things could be taking place as well. Here, there could be speculative gain tied to real estate. especially, if you work in real estate as part of your business. That could also be seen with this. Okay, that's what I have for you though, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius. So, Venus is retrograde in Pisces, your 4th house, with all these damn planets. And Sun and Saturn will join later. Jupiter is in your 6th house in Taurus. So, Venus and Jupiter are in each other's signs, meaning all of these planets are going to act conjunct in both houses. So, 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers, it's your pets, it's your enemies. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's competition, it's conflict, it's legal disputes. It's debt, it's health issues and accidents. 4th house. 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. So now, the energy of these two houses is being brought into the 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's the internet, it's social media, it's media in general. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's marketing and sales. It's your skills. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel because 12th from the 4th house, furthest place from your homeland. It's a house of effort. It's 8th from the 8th, higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. It's also a house of arts and sports and creativity. So, knowing all of this, there's a lot going on here. So, Venus bringing the energy of these two houses into the 3rd house. Here, you could be having conflict with your mother, with a younger sibling. There could be conflict with both of them during this time. Here, you could take on debt on behalf of a home that causes you to lose a home. Because 3rd house is 12th from the 4th house. Like this can be something that's shown here. Maybe you're taking on debt to repair a car and you're traveling. Maybe you're traveling for work. Because now the 6th house of work is involved in the 3rd house of travel. Maybe you have to do marketing and sales work from home. Maybe you're learning new skills tied to, maintenance of a home, maintenance of a car. Maybe you're having health issues or your mother's having health issues where you now have to travel for them. Maybe you're working out in a home gym because 6th house is physical health. 3rd house is effort. It's now in the 4th house of the home. Maybe you got a treadmill. Maybe you're traveling to get a new pet. These are some of the things that we can see with this. Okay, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn. Alright, Capricorn. So, Venus is in Pisces, your 3rd house, with all these damn planets. And Sun and Saturn will be there later. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus. So all these planets are creating an exchange yoga, meaning they're acting conjunct in both of these houses. So, 5th house is romance, fun and games, children, students, subordinates, education. politics, counseling. Fifth house is speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. It's creativity, arts, and sports. Third house. Third house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's the internet, it's media, it's social media, it's marketing and sales. It's a house of travel, mainly short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel. It's a house of arts, house of sports, it's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's a house of self-effort. It's also 8th from the 8th, higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. Third house is a lot. Okay. So, Venus is retrograde though. So the energy of these two houses is being brought into Aquarius, your second house. So, what can we see with this? Well, children will be more involved with the family during that time. Maybe your children are coming to visit. They're traveling to see you. But also, we see children gaining through their career. Because second house is 10th from the 5th house, especially the first child. Here, you can be learning new skills, getting education that helps you make more money. Because now, all this energy is being brought into the second house of family and finances. Maybe you're having fun with a younger sibling. Maybe you're traveling to see family. There will be a lot of communication taking place between the children and with the family during this time. Here, marketing and sales tied to speculative gains through business can definitely help increase your finances. Here, you may be communicating about your political views with your family. Remember, because 5th house is politics. 3rd house of communication is involved. Here, creativity and arts, sports could help bring in money. Communication and speech become very important. Maybe you're becoming politically active. Because remember, 5th house of politics is getting involved here. And 2nd house is speech. And if I forgot to mention it, you could also be traveling to see family during this time. Okay. Alright, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius. So, for you, Venus is retrograde in Pisces, your second house. Okay. With all these damn planets, and Sun and Saturn will be getting involved soon. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus. So Venus and Jupiter are in each other's signs. This creates an exchange yoga. So all these planets are acting conjunct in both houses. So, 4th house. 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. 2nd house is your family, your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your speech. It's what you value, your possessions. Now, Venus is retrograde though, so all this energy of these two houses is being brought into the 1st house. 1st house is you, your physical health, your body, your personality. So, seeing all this, what are some things that we can say? Well, here, the fourth house of mother is now going 10 houses away from itself. So here we see mother could be more focused on her career during this time. But for you, it's the fourth lord retrograding towards the first house. The energy of that fourth house going into the first. So, mother could be more involved with you during this time. Same thing with the family, because second house of family is involved. Here, family finances are coming to you. So now, maybe you're getting the support of the family. Family resources are coming to you. A home could be coming to you, or a car. Because now the fourth house is affecting the first house, going into the first house. But definitely we see a lot of family involvement with you, especially the mother. And here, definitely more money being made. And it could be tied to vehicles, or it could be tied to real estate in particular. But here, comfort and happiness of the fourth house is being brought to you. Whether it's because of finances or because of family. So, overall, this is pretty good for Aquarius people. Okay. But now, let's move on to Pisces. Alright, Pisces. So, there's a lot going on here. With Venus retrograde in your first house. With all these damn planets. And Sun and Saturn will be getting involved soon. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus. So, Jupiter and Venus are creating an exchange yoga because they're in each other's signs. Meaning, all these planets act conjunct between the first and the third house. So, third house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's the internet, media, social media. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel. It's marketing and sales. It's your skills. It's arts, it's sports, creativity. Third house is effort. It's 8th from the 8th. Higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort is the third house. And the first house. First house is you, your physical health, your body, your personality. So now the energy of these two houses is being brought into the 12th house with the sign of Aquarius because Venus is retrograde. So now these two houses are being brought to the 12th house. Okay. So, what do we see with this? Well, first off, 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you're temporarily losing money. It's donations. It's foreign places, foreign people, foreign travel. It's multinational companies. It's addictions. It's imagination. It's fantasy. It's other worlds. It's outer space. So, with the energy of these two houses being brought into this 12th house, first off, travel becomes very significant. Because now, your physical body is going into the 12th house of foreign lands and foreign travel. Third house of travel is being brought to the 12th house as well. So definitely, there can be travel that takes place. That becomes very significant. Here, a relationship with a cousin or a younger sibling could be lost. Maybe you just don't get along with them anymore. Maybe you don't see eye to eye. Maybe they're going far away. With this, you could even be going on a trip with a younger sibling or a cousin. Or a neighbor, I guess. That could also take place. Here, you could be learning skills tied to spirituality. Here, you could be getting physically active in secret, in private, in isolation. Maybe this is even spiritually. Maybe you're doing some yoga practice or Tai Chi or something. Because third house is physical activity. First house is the body. Maybe you're investing into your physical health. Now, this could also be you traveling to a hospital if you're in very poor health. Maybe you're communicating with foreign people or with spiritual people. Because remember, Venus is about relationships and connectivity. You could also be investing in something during this time. Because Venus is also tied to money. And now the first house of you, third house of marketing and sales, is going into the 12th house of investments. Okay. Yeah, that's what I have for all of you. Hopefully this was helpful. I know this is a very confusing transit. A lot going on with it. I definitely couldn't talk about every single planet and all the combinations of what can happen. Just that is too much information. This video is already over an hour long, and it probably would have been almost 2 hours if I had gone into all of that. And it mostly would have just confused y'all. So I'm just keeping it as basic as I can, which is already complicated. Alright. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful. If it was, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.